It is loud. They are a big part of why the Jazz have been so tough at home for so long, but the personnel of the Jazz has had something to do with that as well.
It's his first trip to the line.
Well, last year at the free throw line, he was successful 76% of the time.
Come on, you can hit
this. And he knocks down the first one. O'Neal hits them both. We're about 3 minutes into this first quarter. Here's Beverly. Feeds to George. Ibaka outside. There's the dish to Leonard. Ibaka sets the bid for Leonard. Just 5 on the clock. From outside, off the mark. And as you said, the Jazz very tough at home as always, Clark. And 30 wins for them in this building last season, which usually, Steve, is enough to get you into the playoffs.
That's an amazing stat. 30 home wins and you don't get in. Just shows you how difficult and how tough the Western Conference was.
And Ibaka kicks to Leonard. Ibaka with a screen on O'Neal. And Leonard backs down. Outside, George. Back to Leonard. Right side, Leonard. And it's wide right. It's off the rim.
Tough D on the inside.
Put up a roadblock, a construction barrel right there. That's what he brings defensively.
Snatched away. George, guarded by O'Neal. George dishes to Leonard. Leonard off the pick from Ibaka. Leonard the pass to Ibaka. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. They'll go to the line.
You know, for so long, the Clippers. On the bottom rung of the ladder in the West, almost were a joke in the conference, but their fortunes have changed dramatically in the past few years, and now they're a team that's respected and feared.
Well, you said the Clippers have really flipped the Western Conference upside down over the last few years, and you're right, they have done it with, Steve, style, to say the least. They've got now also a very deep team.
Well, a 35-17 record against the West was enough to secure them their division and advantage in the first round. You have to remember, too, that they were without some of their big stars last season. So if they can stay healthy and really take advantage of what they have, this could be a lot of fun.
Here's Leonard. Sinks the three-pointer. Leonard's got 5.
Tell you what, he is so difficult to guard, especially on a shot like that one.
He dishes it to O'Neal. Ball's knocked loose, and it's out of bounds. Utah able to retain possession here. Here's Conley. Puts it up off the inbound. Again, the Jazz score.
Well, they've settled into their offense very quickly here today.
Yeah, they're zoned in, making the most out of their possessions here. Well, Mike Conley has always been one of the quickest guards in the league, in my opinion, and just a blur in transition. And for his size, a pretty good finisher with both hands inside.
Utah leading by 6. And the pass to O'Neal. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. And Conley has always been quick, Steve, but he's learning how to use, it seems like, different gears to get around defenders.
I agree, Kev. The change of pace, he's gotten so good with his right hand, too, not just off the dribble, but he frequently finishes plays with his right hand in the paint, those little runners. So a lot of skill to go along with that speed.
Pass it to Bogdanovich. And Utah again with the bucket. Clippers trail by 8. And George kicks to Beverly. Kicks it out to Leonard. Stolen by O'Neal. Last break. Here come the Jazz. Here's Mitchell. And he finishes the break with the layup. Mitchell's got his first points in this one.
It has taken them no time to build this lead up on the strength of a great first quarter offensively.
And they need to continue to put pressure on the defense and try to really run away with this one from here. Another nice bucket down low. They've really been able to work the ball into the post effectively so far.
Yeah, I think that could really set things up well the rest of the game. Pound the ball inside and let your perimeter players play off your bigs.
Beverly dishes to Leonard. A feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Leonard's got 7 points.
Broke out the finger roll, guys. That was kind of a stylish finish.
Conley with it. Now defended by Beverly. Down low. And that one is stuck right through. Explosive leaping ability. Oh, that was pretty. And he just has that effortless knack for getting inside.
Well, you hate to be the guy asked to guard it because he's just so dominant, so quick and explosive. Tough to stay in front of him.
George with the ball. Ibaka goes in. Gets it to go. Ibaka's got his third basket of the night.
Boy, has there been any defense played yet in this game?
Nope, this game has been all about rapid-fire offense early.
Mitchell off a pick from Bogdanovich. No good for Mitchell.
Yeah, no excuses there. Got a really good look at the basket after being freed up by the pick.
We say it all the time. The execution was excellent. The result not as good, but good ball movement anyway.
Beverly the pass to George. He feeds it to Leonard. 6 on the shot clock. Ibaka defended by Gobert. They blow the whistle just as he gets it off. That's 2 points with a chance for another one at the stripe.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint. I guess the good news is they've taken away the outside shot.
Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how good their perimeter defense is if they're going to allow inside looks as easy as that.
Lou Williams is checked in for the Clippers. Here's Mitchell, and the rejection by Ibaka. The Jazz have hit all 4 of their chances so far in this one.
About a year ago, they converted about 78% of their free throws as a team, so pretty solid there.
Second free throw, no good.
Well, really a promising young roster for the Utah Jazz team, guys. A lot of blue-chip talent there. I think in a couple of years, this team has a chance to be one of the best in the West.
Williams kicks to Leonard. Ibaka back to Leonard. A 3, and that one's good. Leonard's got 10 points in the game.
And his shots are dropping right now. This quarter has been very kind to him.
And you got to give this Utah front office a lot of credit. You're right, Clark. They've only missed the playoffs 5 times in the last 30 seasons. Steve, that is a remarkable run.
What I like about Utah, too, Kevin, is that they seem to stay ahead of the curve. They make moves while they still have leverage. Dealing Carlos Boozer, Kirilenko, Darren Williams. So they've done a good job of getting value, getting assets, and continuing to look ahead.
And a chance now to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for the Clippers.
Great hustle defensively through 2 quarters of play, contesting everything, starting to rack up those block shots, guys.
They've gotten their fair share of points off turnovers so far tonight, too.
Utah calls timeout. Mark, and it's sent back by George.
In this quarter, he's really been off the mark. He just looks a little bit unsettled.
There's 48 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Left side, Ibaka. Shot's good. Now it's a 4-point Clipper lead.
He got a little room at the rim and laid it in. Great play.
Guys are looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Conley into the lane. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Mitchell. They can't stop the run with that one.
He's been wayward and just off on about everything he's put up in this period.
Batum with the 3. Good. The nice assist for Williams. Batum's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. And here we go with Michael Conley. He lobs up the alley-oop pass.
Maybe that'll look nice. I mean, impossible not to get pumped up after that. At least I think that would be the case.
Well, you can see the immediate reaction of the guys on the bench. They are. Look at them. They are pumped up.
Yeah, they're geek.
That's what those alley-oops do, though.
A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through 1. Clippers lead by 5. And we'll get things started in the second quarter when we return. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And guys, what's your take on the Clippers so far?
And they're really keying in on getting as many good shots inside the lane as possible. They're doing a nice job of not just settling for outside looks.
Yep, I agree. I mean, they're working it inside and doing it with intention and purpose.
And Doris Burke has a report for us from the sideline.
Gentlemen, Roy Hibbert is pretty good friends with Tim Duncan. Hibbert recalls when they met. He said, I met him when I was a kid during the 2001 NBA All-Star Game in D.C., and he actually remembers that moment. We share scouting reports on other teams. It's just a friendship. I learn from him, and you know, he's the best. So I don't know if he picks up anything from me, but I definitely learn from him. Kevin, a great tutor for the young Hibbert.
Well, hard to think of a better mentor for Roy than the great Tim Duncan. Thanks, Doris.
Hey, I think we all knew that the Clippers were good last year, but we really took notice when they rattled off those 17 wins in a row in December. That was a franchise record, which had previously been 11, and that's when the league really took notice.
First free throw is good. Well, it was the year of the win streak last season with Miami doing what they did and Denver getting hot as well. But you know, Steve, the Clippers had the first lengthy win streak and turned some heads earlier in the season.
Yeah, what was that, about 17 games in a row they won? And I thought that kind of established the Clippers in the West, put a little fear in the rest of the conference, and gave LA a swagger that I thought helped them get through the rest of the season.
Outside Leonard. He kicks to Morris. Back to Leonard. It's George on the wing. Plenty of space. Buries the jump shot. George has got his second basket. Jazz trailed by 5. Pass to Bogdanovich. Here's Gobert. He's covered by Leonard. Here's Gobert. 8 points for him. And Michael Conley good for 3. Conley's got 7.
I like the offensive awareness to exploit that lack of coverage on that play.
Leonard attacking. There's the feed to Morris. Outside, George. Shot clock at 5. From deep 3-point range, but they get it back. Leonard kicks to Morris. Zubek defended by Gobert. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2.
While never a lock for the playoffs, the Jazz were in the driver's seat for a playoff spot up until the All-Star break last season. However, after the second half kicked up again, they just couldn't beat the teams they needed to and lost a lot of ground, letting the Lakers back in the hunt.
And the first one at the line is good. Of course, the Lakers would eventually pass them up during the final days to snag a playoff spot. But, Steve, as you said, it was just a poor run of games for the Jazz right after the All-Star break that did them in.
Well, it would have been nice for this young core to gain some valuable playoff experience, but Well, they did pick up a couple of first-round draft picks. They continue to add talent to this deep roster, and I would think it's just a matter of time before they're back in the playoffs again.
He hits both from the stripe.
The difference between being a dominant or a good team and mediocrity is the ability to win on the road. The Clippers secured their spot as one of the NBA's elite teams last season because they showed the ability to get it done on the road.
Ingles passes to Favors. Here's Bogdanovich. Here's Gadsden. And Utah, another three.
That shot becomes effortless for him when the D is so relaxed. They got to get more intense.
And the Clippers have one of the better road records in the Western Conference last year, going 24-17. Steve actually tied for the second most road wins in the West, Oregon and the Thunder.
And believe it or not, Kevin, it's the first time the Clippers franchise has ever had a winning record on the road. Actually, I do believe that when you think back to Clipper history. But I'll tell you what, it's a team on the rise and a very interesting club to watch. Well, great focus at the free throw line. They're taking care of business.
That's exactly how you keep on the lead. 100% free throwing for the quarter, that'll do it.
Now the pass to Bogdanovich. Here's Favors. No good. And the Clippers will come the other way. George dishes to Williams. Outside Leonard. Outside George. Left side George. Right at the free throw line. Rebound Utah. Here's Gadsden. The finger roll finish at the bucket. He has 5.
Took advantage of some shoddy defense there. They've got to at least get a finger on him.
Los Angeles has gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Williams kicks to George. Clippers moving the ball around. Zubek, who's covered by Favors. Some solid defense from Favors. Ingles, defended by Morris. Ingles passes to Conley. Favors sets the pick for Conley. And he's knocked off course by the D. The foul called. He'll shoot free throws. It's on Kawhi Leonard. The Jazz have gone 6 of 8 from the free throw line tonight.
At the line for 2.
That one is off. That's off as well, so he misses both. The Clippers in the lead. Outside Williams. Outside George. The basket is good off the assist from Williams. And it's 7 points for Paul George.
That is his shot, guys. So you can't just give it to him. You've got to get up on him and get into his airspace there.
And the Jazz call time here. You have to like what we're seeing so far from Kawhi Leonard.
He's on fire. They needed to put their heads together to figure out how to get the ball out of his hand.
Jazz trail by 5. Pass to Conley. Here's Bogdanovich. He's guarded by Williams. Dishes it to Favors. The jump hook, and it's off the back rim. No good. Los Angeles leading by 5. Williams gets to Leonard. And stolen by Favors. Fast break. Here come the Jazz. Here's Gibson. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. 7 points in the game.
Starting to get a little momentum here after that scoreless first quarter. Well, Lewis Williams has 2 things working for him on the offensive end. First, he is lightning fast. And secondly, he shoots the ball so well that he's able to use a great pump fake. And he really keeps defenders guessing.
And the Clippers call time here. Well, back to Williams, more turnover prone last season than we're used to seeing.
Yeah, that's normally a strength of his, Kevin. High volume offense without turning it over. Of course, he changed teams, so perhaps adjusting to the new system made him a little more mistake prone.
The Jazz making a switch here. George is checked in. Williams attacking. Stolen by George. And even 3-on-3 break. Got a piece of it. And out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession. Clippers leading by 3. Now here's Williams. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Kicks it to Morris. Fires the 3. It's hauled in by George. For Utah, they've gone 4 of 8 so far here in the second quarter. Back to Conley. Here's Gadsden. That's in there. Conley with the assist. Conley's got his 5th assist in this one.
He's making it look easy scoring out there because he's much more efficient here in the second.
Williams gets to Leonard. Defended by George. The fader. 5 to shoot. Feeds it to Williams. George lets it go with the 3. And again, no good by the Clippers.
You know, not only is the game neck and tight, but the rebounding battle is too. Extremely close on the board.
Yeah, both teams have really put in a terrific effort down low.
Leonard brings the double team. The Jazz working the ball around now. And they take the lead. Now it's a 3-point Jazz lead.
Yet another 3 for him, Kevin. He's really been draining here in the second.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
The dish to Morris. Back to Leonard. It's George on the wing. Will not go. This is off the front iron. Jazz leading by 3. Conley off the pick from George. Conley into the lane. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
You know, even from here, you can see that one pretty clearly.
Yep, pretty obvious. And a good call by the officials.
And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Jazz.
Boy, the 3-point shot has really been dropping for him early on.
And they're also showing some muscle here in the first half, finding a lot of points in the paint area.
And the first one comes. Reggie Jackson's checked in for Marcus Morris. And Conley drops them both. Now Jackson. And the Clippers call time here.
Well, good timeout, guys, because, this has been a bad run for them. He's got to get his team back on the same page and executing well together.
Sometimes just getting to stop in the action can be enough to get a team back on track. There's something about that little pause in the intensity of the game that lets you refocus.
You have to learn these words in the rhythm for you to know it's a rap. You said you was king, you lied through your teeth. For that, villains, instead of king, crown your king into the...
He passes to Leonard. Back to Jackson. He dishes it to Leonard to stop the drought. The offensive rebound.
And you can feel the momentum swinging. They needed that shot badly.
Steve, I sense some frustration here. It seems like they're getting a little frustrated. It's understandable because they've given up this big run.
Clippers trail by 5. Leonard sets a screen for George. From 11 feet away. Good. Jazz have gone 6 of 11 from the floor. Over 50% shooting here in the second quarter. 1:56 left now here in the second. Back to Conley. Lock at 6 for 3. George. And it's Paul George with the foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
And another foul would give him 3 before the half, something to keep our eyes on.
And the Clippers making a switch here. Passes it to Favors. Backs in. George against Leonard. Gets it to go. 1:29 left in the first half. It's good. Only a few seconds into the shot clock. Leonard's got 17.
Whatever their plan was defensively that time, it didn't work. Not if it results in that shot.
And it's Conley penetrating. He feeds it to Favors. Conley's shot is off.
It's kind of a shocker. The defense was there, but it wasn't right in his face. Kind of out of character for him to miss those.
Here's Gadsden and the rejection by Leonard. And he gets it back. Ingles. A 3-pointer off the mark.
Well, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide open opportunities.
And they will get the basket here, folks, as they rule goaltending.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
And you hear the crowd kind of murmuring. I don't think they agreed with the officials on that one.
Steve, I tell you what, they're really letting them have it.
O'Neal's checked in for Utah. And here is Conley. He's got 9. He kicks to O'Neal. Nice ball movement by Utah. And George, here we go. Conley left side. And out of bounds as Los Angeles gains possession. And the Clippers making a change here. Beverly's checked in. We've got 22 seconds left in the first half of basketball.
Come on, back it out, man.
Leonard with the ball. He's got 17. Pass to Beverly. Outside Leonard. 1 second left. Another one falls for the Clippers. And the first half ends in a close one. The Clippers on top. They lead by 1. And we'll be back for the second half following the break. Keep it right here on 2K Sports.
Now, presented by Sprint. Now let's go straight to the Monday night halftime report. The Los Angeles Clippers in front against the Jazz at Energy Solutions Arena. Through 2 quarters, their offense has been simply unstoppable. Bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket after bucket, you get it. We've seen Kawhi Leonard having a superb game. He's up to 19 points, and he's been able to provide some nice assists as well. But the Jazz getting after it as well. They've been very focused on the defensive end, generating steals, showing a high-level activity and aggression defensively. Michael Conley off to a good start. He's got 9 points and is up to his usual tricks, dropping a lot of dimes all over the court. That'll be all for us here at the studios as we head back to the start of the third quarter with Kevin, Steve, Clark, and Doris. Thanks so much for joining me. The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out away here in the third.
Wow, this game just a commanding performance for Leonard. He's got 19 points, and he's got 2 baskets from out in three-point land.
I'm sure they'd like to get him a few more of those, so look for them to run some screens for him, try to pop him open.
And Beverly kicks to George. Fades away and sinks the tough shot. George has got the opening bucket to start the second half for the Clippers. Jazz trail by 3. Conley with the screen on George. The pass to Bogdanovich. Six on the shot clock. The 11-footer. That drops. Bogdanovich has got his 3rd bucket of the night. And for the Clippers, they're shooting a superb 63% from the field. Beverly dishes to Leonard. The 10-footer. Another one falls for the Clippers. And if you're just joining us, we played over a minute here in the third. Mitchell kicks to O'Neal. O'Neal gets a screen from Bogdanovich. O'Neal misses.
Boy, the Jazz have a lot of big bodies down low, Kevin. I mean, they'll always have 2 big post presences at all times, and sometimes they might even have 3 down there. It showed up. If you look at how often they took threes, didn't really shoot a lot of them.
Beverly, the pass to Leonard. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Ibaka, and he hits it just before the shot clock expires. Now it's a 5-point Clipper lead. So it's the Jazz now. And for the Jazz, they took 4 more threes a game last season than they had the prior year, up to 17 a game, Steve, but still they shot the 3rd fewest threes after all that in the NBA.
Well, it's a league-wide trend, Kevin. Teams are really waking up to the value of the 3. And I think the Jazz have traditionally been a low-post team, an inside team. But, you know, I would look for them to add 3-point shooters in the next few years.
Here's Leonard. 21 points in the game. Some firepower, Clark and Steve, from his offense.
Yeah, Kevin, how about the air confidence? I mean, they really look like they believe in what they're doing.
Yeah, a little swagger here from this team. They're in a nice groove.
And the Clippers call time. Beverly dishes to Batum. Outside, George. Here's Leonard. Off target from 3-point range.
Now still a great start to the half after hitting their first 3, even before that miss.
And Bogdanovich kicks to Conley. Here's Gobert. And it goes as the official calls the foul. Count it. We'll shoot one more at the free throw line.
Heard the whistle and still kept his focus, able to knock that down.
And that is not easy, Steve. I mean, to take the bump, to maintain control of your body and put it in the hole, tremendous play.
Leonard against O'Neal. Rejected by Bogdanovich. Here's Mitchell. Inside. Here's Gobert. The shot goes down and gets this game back to even. Gobert's got 5 points now this quarter.
Seems like they're on their heels every time defensively because the ball continues to go into the post.
Well, if they don't pick up the aggression, things are only going to get worse.
And yes, sir, that one drops. 23 points for Kawhi Leonard.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
The Jazz have gone 3 of 4 so far in the third quarter from the field. Pretty good start to the half. O'Neal passes to Gobert. And that one's good. Gobert has got 15 points.
some big points there. I mean, they got him on a nice play to get the ball right to the bucket.
That's what they're looking for down the stretch, Clark. More of the same. Get it inside.
Now the feed to George. From downtown, it's rebounded by Bogdanovich. Deflected. Batum with the steal. And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. With the teardrop. Now here's O'Neal. 7 points in the game for the lead. And the shot is good. Now it's a 3-point Jazz lead.
Feels like a flip has been switched at halftime. Now really getting after it.
And it's been a fun half of basketball, Steve.
Here's Beverly, and they wasted no time getting those 3 points back. Beverly's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Right back at you. They immediately get those 3 points back.
Trading punches, that's how you answer.
Mitchell kicks to O'Neal. He passes to Gobert. Kicked away and out of bounds as the Clippers gain possession. LA's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. It's George on the wing, in low to Ibaka.